Hello everyone. So today I'll discuss about the decision tables for rule-based workflow. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible. Swapna.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to the T code USMD underscore SSW underscore rule. And before that, let me just show you the change request type, which I am going to discuss now. So MDG, IMG. So this is a real-time scenario. I'm just going to explain. In the central governance, general settings, in process modeling, we have change request. So here we have different types of change request. Okay. So let me open one Z change request. This one for bill to customer bill to. Okay. So this ZCUS BLT1 is for creation of customer bill to. So this is for the single object and it is for the data model BP for creation of customer, that is of customer type bill to. Okay. So here we have, for this change request type, we have entity types defined as address number, BP header and BP relation. Okay. So now let me check the business activity for this change request type. So business activity for this change request type is CUP1, that is for the creation of customer. Okay. So now let's quickly check the BRF plus decision tables, like single value decision table, user agent decision table and non-user agent table for this create customer bill to change request type. Okay. So I have given the change request type that is related to the customer bill to creation, and here in this decision tables we'll be having the three decision tables. Okay. One is single value decision table, other is user agent decision table and non-user agent decision table. Okay. So here in this single value decision table, you can see change request step, previous action, change request priority, reason and all this. So let me just export this to Excel and show so that it will be easy. Okay. Mm. Okay. So 1 minute. Here we have few of the fields as empty. So we need this dynamic agent service name. Okay. So for this CR type, these are the workflow steps. Okay. So first workflow step, that is the initial step is 00. Okay. So whenever we submit the CR, so let's say from NWBC, okay, let me open here. Okay. So here first from NWBC, we have selected the CR type and in that CR type created a CR and submitted the CR. Okay. So once this CR is submitted, then it will route, it has to route to some person and it has to do the governance process, right? Governance process. Okay. After this CR submission, the workflow will trigger in the background. So that this is the workflow that will trigger in the background. Okay. So whenever we click on the submit button, system directly takes the workflow steps from here. So from single value decision table, it will check the first initial step. So initial step is 0 0. So for initial step 0 0, what is the next step? Okay, so the next step it will check from here. Okay, so the new change request step is 90. So from 0 0 step, the next step is 90. And the condition alias is FA. Here we have FA. So I'll just copy all this user agent and non-user agent also. So let's just export this and put it in one single Excel so that we can understand easily. Okay. So this is the user agent decision table. I'll just copy this one and paste it in one Excel sheet. Okay, let me paste it here. And the other one is use single value decision table. This one, copy and put it here. And next is non-user agent decision table, right? So non-user agent. So this is non-user agent. This is user agent. And this is single value decision table. Okay. Okay. So now when we submit the CR, like let's say I have submitted the CR 170. Okay. CR number. Now the initial step of this CR will be 0 0. So now the system will come here in this single value decision table, and it will check for 0 0 initial step. What is the next step? So from here, what is the next step? 90. Okay. So now it will check 90. And here we have dynamic agent service maintained here. Okay. That means the user has to be derived from the dynamic agent selection service. So where we can find this logic? Anyone? Like which in SAP, if we maintain this dynamic agent selection service, then system, how it will trigger the dynamic agents, from which code, like from which object it will trigger the dynamic agents? Any one of you? Okay, so we discussed about the baddies, right? Workflow baddies. So C80 in this USMD SSW service processor is the enhancement spot for workflow. So in this we have 5 different baddies. So everyone has to remember these baddies. Okay, whenever we call as like whatever the object which will trigger once we submit the CR is, that is workflow enhancement spot, that is service processor enhancement spot. Okay, so in this, if we maintain the dynamic agent service in the single value decision table, then the system will first come to this baddie, that is dynamic agent select, and it will check any implementations are available in this or not. So here we have one implementation, that is agent determination. Okay, so in this filter values, so here you can see filter values, we have these many different service names defined in the system. Okay, so for these service names, wherever we maintain these service names, then this class will be triggered. Okay, so in this class we have a method get dynamic agents. So from here it will check the dynamic agents. So it will come here and then What is our service name? C request submit. Okay. C request submit. That is this one. LC submit service name. Okay. So control F, LC submit service name. So here we have the logic to determine the dynamic agents for this service. Okay. So here we have send mail notification only. Okay. So in this, if we observe, we have maintained the condition alias as well. That is FA. So if we maintain the condition alias for this one, with or without dynamic agent service, it will check for the first it will check for the condition alias, that is FA. So this condition alias where we have it in the user agent decision table, right? So for 00 to 90 step, who is the approver? FA. The approver is this role. Okay. So Z. So approver is this role. 1 minute. Okay. So from 00 step to 90 step, it will route to this user, like this role. So whoever available in this role, it will, this change request will be routed to their workflow inbox. Okay. So from there, they can perform the action, like they can approve it or reject it, whatever the action they want to perform. And after that, once that is done, so there you will have actions like approve, reject, or whatever the buttons you want to put, those actions will be there. So here if you see, we have for 90 step, we have two different actions. That is, one is 09 and one is 04. Okay. So let's check what is 09 and what is 04. So 09 is for activate and 04 is for reject. Okay. So in the 90 button, so let's say 00, I submitted this request, Sadhana submitted this request, and then it is routed to for 90 step. Let's say in this role we have other person like Pranit. Okay. So now this CR 170 CR will be available in Pranit workflow inbox. Okay. Change request workflow inbox. So it will be available here. So now Pranit will have buttons like activate, that is 09, and reject, that is 04. Okay. So now if Pranit activate activates that CR, what should be the next action? That we have to maintain. And if Pranit rejects the change request, then what should be the next process? So these two actions we have to define in the single value decision table. So here that's why we have maintained for 90 change request step, what is the previous action and what should be the next steps and next uh, information. And if at the step 90, if the previous action is 04, then what should be the next action? So those information we have to maintain. So here what we have done for 90, if the change request is activate, then the condition alias is 2. And the next step is 91 and change request status is 02. So here what it means is, once activate button is clicked on, then it has to activate that CR in the background and it has to activate that change request information in the system, right? So this has to be done in the no user action is needed in this step because already it is activated. Activate means the final step is done. So now after this everything has to be like non-user perform. Okay, so non-user actions. So here 2 means we have maintained in the non-user agent decision table. Okay, so for 2 the processing pattern is 06. That is non-user agent D02 activation bypass snapshot. Okay, so this will activate the change request in the background. Okay, so now for this, if it is activated, then it will go to the 91 step. Okay, so after 91 step, here if it is successfully activated, then the condition alias is ML, that is request activation. Okay, so the status will be changed, just the status will be 05 here. Okay, so here why they have maintained these service names is different service names, because here request activation successful, they want to send some messages to the users like the who are involved in this change request. So because of that they have maintained these different service names. Okay, and here if it is rejected, okay, at the step 90 if the change request is rejected, then it has to route to the requester again. Okay, let's say Pranit has rejected this change request. So it has to route to Sadhana again for the next steps. Okay. So here we have maintained one step, new step as 95. So this 3, it is in the user action. That is who from for whom it has to route initiator. So here special user init means initiator. Okay, so who initiates the change request, it will route to that person. Okay, now for 95 step we have 2 actions, resubmit or withdraw. Okay, so if the user wants to resubmit the change request or withdraw the change request, if he wants, like if the user, like the requester wants to resubmit the change request, then again the condition alias will be FA, that is again it will route to this person and it will wait for the approvals. If the requester wants to withdraw the change request number, then it will be the next step will be 92, and here we have 92. After 92 it is 99, that is 99 means workflow is completed. Okay, 99 means completed step in the workflow. 00 is the initial step and 99 is the completed step. Okay, so in between whatever we want to maintain we can maintain. So here if at the 91 status, like 91 step, if the change request is activated successfully, then the status, like the condition alias is ML and the next step is ML. So for ML next step, EX is the next step here. So for EX it is 99 again. So here why we have maintained these dummy step is, here we want to perform some additional actions in the system. So that's why to maintain the service names, we have maintained one additional extra step here, that is ML and EX. So ML is for this service name and EXT is for this service name. Okay. So where these service names will trigger, this will trigger in the system method caller. Okay. So if we put the dynamic agent service here, then dynamic agent body will trigger. And if we maintain the service name in the non-user agent decision table, then system method caller body will be triggered in the background. Okay. So any questions here? Okay. So for today task is, in your system, create one new change request type. Okay. create a new change request type, and for that, for this CR type, create decision tables. Okay, so basically create the workflow steps. This should be two-level workflow. Create the two-level approver workflow. Okay, two-level sequential workflow. Okay, so everyone has systems, right?
Yes, Sadhana.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So if you face any issues, try to contact the person who has given you the system. And so create one new change request type. And for that change request type which you are creating, create the decision tables for two-level sequential workflow. Okay. These already we discussed, and today also I just shown you one example. So yeah, please try to create this. Just stopping the recording.